All right, Yankees fans, buckle up, because this is one of those rumors that instantly grabs your attention and doesn't let go. Over the last few days, the baseball world has been buzzing with talk that the New York Yankees are linked to Tigers ace Tarik Skubal. And the big question everyone's asking is simple but loaded. Is this a smart, championship-level move or a risky gamble that could backfire in a big way? On the surface, it sounds like the kind of bold swing the Yankees are known for. Big market, big expectations, and a fan base that's always thinking World Series or bust. But when you slow it down and really look at what a potential Skubal trade would mean, things get a lot more interesting and a lot more complicated. Let's start with why Tarik Skubal's name even makes sense in Yankees conversations. When you talk about elite left-handed pitching in today's MLB, Skubal is right near the top of that list. He's not just a hard thrower, he's a pitcher with command, confidence, and the kind of presence on the mound that changes the feel of a series. He attacks hitters. He doesn't shy away from big moments, and he has shown the ability to dominate lineups stacked with right-handed power. For a Yankees team that has leaned heavily on right-handed pitching and has dealt with injuries and inconsistency in the rotation, adding a lefty with Skubal's profile feels like plugging a major hole with a premium piece. From that angle alone, it's easy to see why fans are excited. Now look at it from the Yankees' perspective. This is a team that year after year enters the season with championship expectations, not just playoff hopes. When you have Aaron Judge in his prime, a core that's built to win now, and a front office under constant pressure to deliver results, standing pat is rarely an option. The rotation has had bright spots, sure, but it's also had question marks. Can everyone stay healthy? Can young arms handle October pressure? Can the staff match up with elite rotations in a deep postseason run? Adding a pitcher like Skubal would instantly raise the floor and the ceiling of the staff. It sends a message to the clubhouse and the league. The Yankees aren't just hoping things break right. They're actively trying to control their own destiny. But here's where the conversation gets real, because no team gives up a pitcher like Tarik Skubal for nothing. Detroit would be looking for a serious return, likely built around high-end prospects, controllable young players, or possibly even a major league contributor. And that's where the risk factor creeps in. The Yankees farm system has depth, but not every prospect is expendable, especially when you're trying to balance winning now with staying competitive in the future. Trading for Skubal could mean saying goodbye to players who might be key pieces in the Bronx for the next decade. If Skubal performs like an ace and helps deliver a title, no one will complain. But if injuries strike, or if his performance dips, those what-if questions about the players traded away will get very loud, very fast. Another layer to this rumor is Skubal himself and how his game translates to New York. Pitching in Yankee Stadium is not the same as pitching anywhere else. The short porch in right field, the constant spotlight, the media pressure, and the expectations that come with wearing pinstripes can elevate some players and overwhelm others. Skubal has the stuff to succeed anywhere, but the Bronx is a different beast. Every bad inning gets magnified, every start is dissected, and every October outing becomes part of your legacy. The Yankees would be betting not just on his arm, but on his mentality. They'd be trusting that he can thrive under the brightest lights in baseball. From Detroit's side, the rumor also makes sense, which is why it feels realistic instead of pure fantasy. The Tigers are in a position where they have to think long-term. Skubal is one of their most valuable assets, and if they believe they're not ready to seriously contend in the immediate future, cashing in on that value could be smart business. A trade with the Yankees could bring back multiple pieces that help build a sustainable winner rather than relying on one ace to carry the load. That doesn't mean Detroit wants to trade him, but it does mean they'd listen, especially if the offer is strong enough to reshape their roster. For Yankees fans, emotions are split right down the middle. Some see Skubal as the missing piece, the kind of move that pushes the team over the top and finally ends the championship drought. Others worry about the cost, especially in a league where pitching injuries are unpredictable and prospects can turn into stars elsewhere. There's also the question of timing. Is this the right moment to go all in, or would patience and internal development be the smarter play? The Yankees have been burned before by big-name acquisitions that didn't pan out as expected, and that history makes fans cautious even when the upside is obvious. Financially, the move would also have ripple effects. Skubal isn't just a short-term rental, he comes with control, which adds to his value, but also to the long-term planning challenges. The Yankees would need to consider how his contract fits with future extensions, luxury tax implications, and other roster decisions. In a front office era where flexibility matters almost as much as star power, that's not a small detail. A Skubal trade wouldn't be a simple add and move-on decision. It would shape multiple seasons of Yankees baseball. When you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, this rumor represents the classic Yankees dilemma. Do you leverage your resources to aggressively chase a title right now, or do you protect your future and hope your current core figures it out? Tarik Skubal is exactly the kind of player who forces that question to the surface. He's young enough to be part of a long-term plan, talented enough to change a postseason series, and valuable enough that acquiring him would hurt in the short-term prospect-wise. That combination is why his name is dominating trade chatter. So is it a smart move or a risky one? The honest answer is that it's both. It's smart because elite pitching wins in October, and Skubal has the tools to be that guy. It's risky because baseball is unpredictable, prospects matter, and no trade is ever a sure thing. For the Yankees, the decision would come down to belief. Do they believe this roster, with Skubal added, is good enough to win it all? Do they believe the cost is worth the potential reward? And do they believe now is the moment to push all the chips in? As of now, it's still just a rumor, but it's the kind of rumor that tells you a lot about where the Yankees' mindset might be. They're watching, they're evaluating, and they're clearly not content with standing still. Whether Tarik Skubal ever actually puts on pinstripes remains to be seen, but the conversation itself is a powerful reminder of who the Yankees are and how they operate. This franchise is never satisfied with standing still. Even when they're competitive, even when they're winning games, the front office is always scanning the league for that next big edge, that one move that can tilt the balance of power in October. The Skubal rumors reflect that mindset perfectly. This isn't about making noise for headlines. It's about identifying elite talent and asking a simple question: does this make us harder to beat when it matters most? And when a name like Skubal enters that discussion, it instantly raises the stakes across the entire league. If this trade were to happen, the ripple effects would be massive. Opposing teams would immediately have to rethink their postseason matchups, fans would start penciling in rotations for October, and the pressure on the Yankees would skyrocket overnight. Yankee Stadium would buzz differently, knowing a frontline lefty is taking the ball in big games, and every Skubal start would feel like an event. At the same time, the expectations would be relentless. In New York, big moves demand big results, and there's no hiding from that reality. Love it or hate it, a deal like this would put the Yankees back at the absolute center of the baseball universe, where every win is celebrated loudly and every loss is dissected endlessly. That's the price of ambition in the Bronx, and it's exactly why these rumors feel so real and so captivating right now.